Hello, everybody. I'm Martha McCallum, along with Charlie Hurt, Jessica Tarlov, Jesse Waters, and Greg Gutfeld. It is 5 o'clock in New York, and this is The Five. So are Democrats walking into a Trump trap on Epstein after the president signed the release of the Epstein files, 30 days for it all to come out? The party's rising star, Texas Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, is facing fierce backlash after she wrongfully accused former GOP congressman and current EPA administrator Lee Zeldin of taking campaign donations from the dead sex trafficking pedophile. Take a look at the comments that got her in hot water on the House floor. Watch this.
Folks who also took money from somebody named Jeffrey Epstein, as I had my team dig in very quickly: Mitt Romney, the NRCC, Lee Zeldin, George Bush, Win Red, McCain Palin, Rick Lazio. I just want to be clear. If this is the standard that we're going to make, just know we're going to expose it all.
If this is the standard. All right. So it turns out that it was a different Jeffrey Epstein. Apparently, there are hundreds of them in America for whom the FCC had records of donation to Zeldin. Zeldin himself explaining on X, writing, "Yes, Crockett, a physician named Dr. Jeffrey Epstein, who is totally different person than the other Jeffrey Epstein, donated to a prior campaign of mine. No freaking relation, you genius," he writes in large letters. Crockett, on cleanup duty, and this was tough, somehow made things worse. Watch.
I never said that it was that Jeffrey Epstein. So my team, what they did is they Googled, and that is specifically why I said a Jeffrey Epstein. Unlike Republicans, I at least don't go out and just tell lies. Because it was not the same one, that's fine. But he admitted that he did receive donations from a Jeffrey Epstein, so at least I wasn't trying to mislead people. Now, have I dug in to find out who this doctor is? I have not. So I will trust and take what he says. I literally had maybe 20 minutes before I had to do that debate.
So if you only had 20 minutes and you couldn't vet the list that you pulled up before you attached some of the biggest politicians in U.S. history to it, including Lee Zeldin, who we know it was the wrong person, you should have just not said any of the names on the list. This is how you deal with this kind of moment when you're under pressure. You have to make sure that you don't go out there and lambast someone and put them in a category that they don't belong in just because it feels good. And you only have 20 minutes before this happens. Charlie, it's still, I mean, there's so many layers to her back pedal here.
Yeah.
I mean, really, the only thing she could have and should have done is to walk out there and say, "I apologize."
Yeah, that would be the logical thing to do. I loved Lee Zeldin's first message. He punctuated each word with clapping hands, saying, "This is a different Jeffrey Epstein. This guy is a doctor." And then when he got to the part about explaining that also the donations came after Jeffrey Epstein was dead, he used a drum set between each word just to punctuate that this is how insane it is. And I get, like, for Democrats, like, donors can be dead, voters can be dead. It's like, whatever. It's like,
I wasn't aware of that as
just
a
mere
Democrat
details.
thing,
but I do think it's kind of interesting that you have Ron Wyden in the Senate trying to now make the argument. And I'm not saying that he's altogether wrong. I don't know what to believe about a lot of this stuff. I think there are a lot of people who are implicated in this. But he's trying to say now that, oh, this is not a political problem. This is a Wall Street problem, because there are some real questions about what banks did to help and to cover up Jeffrey Epstein. And I'm delighted it's all going to come out. But I'm also not surprised that probably all of Washington is sitting there going, no, it's a Wall Street thing. Go over there. Just don't look over here.
I mean, Jessica, are there any rules of decorum on the floor of Congress that preclude her from walking out there? I mean, to me, this deserves some sort of punishment of some form. I don't know, in their ethics rules or whatever. She slandered this guy, and she said, "Oh, I just didn't have time to check it out. Sorry, no time to fact check."
So I live in abject fear, Jesse in less abject fear than I do, of defamation constantly, right? You go out here, you have this huge bully pulpit, right? This opportunity to talk to millions of people, and you better get your language right, especially when you were talking about a pedophile. That's why it has to be an alleged pedophile if someone hasn't been convicted of something. And if you're then talking about someone who may have been in cahoots with a sex trafficker and pedophile, you should also probably get that right. So I don't know about the rules on the floor about this. And, there's been back and forth even this week within the Democratic Party about, sanctioning or whatever the process would be for the retiring Democrat who gave his chief of staff his seat, anyway, I expected it was a mistake because clearly we're talking about that Jeffrey Epstein when you're making the case. If you're talking about the NRCC and Rick Lazio, like you're talking about Jeffrey Epstein. So I don't think that was well handled. This narrative, though, that the Dems are on defense and this is going to just turn into a problem for us, it just doesn't work. I thought Chris Murphy handled it really well this morning. He was on with John Berman, and John asked him, well, what happens if you see more links between Jeffrey Epstein and the Democratic Party? And he goes, so what? Let the chips fall where they may. That is the point of this list coming out, that it's about giving closure to the survivors and the victims of Jeffrey Epstein and this cabal, and that there are some people who don't deserve to be in public life anymore. And you see what's going on with Larry Summers, and that, that's fast moving. And it's going to be a lot more people who are Washington folks and also Wall Street folks.
Yeah, I mean, Larry Summers has lost his connection to the things that he probably cares about the most next to his family. All these prestigious organizations, it's like Prince Andrew had to take, off his medals. The two of them have basically, suffered the same retribution in all of this. But Jesse, as Jessica's talking, I just keep thinking about the fact that if Democrats felt so strongly about this, they've had 4 years. They didn't pursue any of this.
It was because of the open investigation.
No, sure.
Okay, well, that's what Trump's going to use now, by the way.
Okay.
All right.
All your predictions are wrong.
That's not true.
It is. I'll take it from here. My staff did the research that her staff did, and we did it in less than 25 minutes. And Romney, Bush, the NRCC, WinRed, no one took Epstein money. It checks out. She's dumb. She knows her staff is dumb. That's why she gave herself an out. So she lied. And only in politics can you lie and get away with it. Actually, the better liar you are, the farther you go. Look at Schiff. He lied about Trump, and now he got a promotion to a senator. Look at Newsom, Clinton, all these. Blumenthal said he served in Vietnam. He never even been in the country, and he's still in the Senate. So they had what they thought Trump dead to rights, and now everyone's collateral damage. Stacey from the not-so-Virgin Islands. You have Hakeem soliciting cash and dinner invitations. You have Crockett now and Summers. And there's going to be more. And here's why, Jessica. Now they're putting out flight manifests in 30 days. They're putting out all of the FBI and DOJ investigative documentation. Now, Donald Trump cut him loose in 2004. All of this documentation that's going to come out is going to be from 2008, when the first charges were filed, to 2019, when the second charges were filed. Everything in between that decade, all he's doing, Jessica, is hanging out with Democrats. That's all he's doing. He's not donating to Republicans. He's not hanging out with Republicans. So it doesn't even matter if you guys did or did not get massages, did or did not hang out with sex trafficked minors. Doesn't even matter. The mere allegation that's going to come out in these documents is going to ruin people's lives. And I'm sorry, you pushed this. Trump was trying to be a gentleman, and he was going to say a lot of people's lives are going to be ruined. A lot of people will have their reputations destroyed from innuendo. And I'm sorry, but that's the way it's going to happen. Now, you're right about J.P. Morgan. This is out, and it's huge. So J.P. Morgan filed 5,000 suspicious activity reports on Epstein. $1 billion in suspicious financial wires from Jeffrey Epstein. That either one or two things is true. He is either at the center of an international sexual blackmail ring, or he's a money launderer. And J.P. Morgan covered it up. And the Treasury Department's covered it up because they get those reports. That's what this has always been about, a sexual blackmail ring. And that's what I'd like to find out more about.
All right. Not to dwell on Jasmine Crockett, but I am a little bit focused on this, and you can take it wherever you want.
Sure.
Obviously, Greg, but the fact that she said, the point is proved because you see, a Jeffrey Epstein did give him money.
Yeah, I think I did some research. There are roughly 300 Jeffrey Epsteins in the United States, and imagine what it's like for them to have that name during this period of time. It's got to be horrible. I had a friend named Jeffrey Epstein, and it was a nightmare for him. He ended up killing himself in a jail cell. But anyway, it's a mistake in addressing this as an error, as a mistake, as stupidity. It's brazen arrogance, knowing you can get away with something. She admits that she knew it wasn't by saying a and not the before Jeffrey Epstein. She went public knowing this accusation would implicate an innocent man. Not, well, more than one innocent. She sacrificed American citizens because she didn't think they mattered. It was just all part of a political action. It's kind of gross, and she's the Democrat star. She says her staff didn't have time. She certainly had time to search the rolls for, the name of Epstein and various people. So they could have easily have done this. It would have taken one question on Grok. Then, of course, the worst kind of person always blames their team. I always tell that to my team. Stop blaming people. I think she needs to get reprimanded, sued, whatever, because she's going to do it again. She is the opposite of charisma, power without empathy. She abused her power. She used her office and her status and her prestige to act. They talk about punching down on some guy who shared the name with a sexual predator. The absolute cold-hearted, robotic excuse just reflects the banality of the soulless bureaucrat who could just easily press a button and someone can lose a life because it doesn't touch them. That is the same personality, the same type that you see in mayor's offices in liberal cities. The ones that say defund the police but have security, it doesn't affect them. So here's the key. I want to just finish on what Jessica was talking in general about the scandal itself. I think the key for us is to slow it down, because you can get sucked into this whirlwind snowball effect of all of these things when, in fact, the real scandals, which are going to be Democrat, I'm sorry, but 80 to 90% of the correspondence for money was with Democrats. It's going to happen. They're the problem. We have to take it slow. If the only scandal was Stacey Plaskin, it would still be one of the biggest scandals ever, because it addresses the question, how did Epstein get that island? How is he able to make it a destination for elites for sex trafficking? How is he able to keep the sex trafficking quiet? How are people able to get in and out without anybody knowing? He was greasing the palms of people like Plaskin. She worked for his lawyer. He was giving them money. He curried favor with liberal midwit politicians in order to maintain a relationship that allowed him to abuse women. So this is like a big story. She's a politician. The Virgin Islands, great place, but corrupt as hell. This is a big story if nothing else came out. And Jesse's right. Trump should just sit back. He's the guy running the bucking bronco in the bar. He's not on the bronco. He's just letting it go, watching the guys just get, oh, there goes Larry Summers. There goes Plaskin. Oh, there goes Jasmine Crockett.
I love that.
Next up, Chuck Schumer.
All right. Coming
Not
up.
getting Chuck Schumer on that one.
Well, I don't know. He's got a
Don't
thing.
say it.
He's got a thing.
Don't say
He's
it.
got a thing on his head. I
does.
believe it's a muskrat.
Coming up, it is capitalism versus socialism tomorrow as President Trump welcomes Zohran Mamdani to the White House.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.